CDC was an opposition party for 12 unbroken years in this country. Over those 12 years of being in the opposition, there was never a case in point where the CDC lacked a national headquarters. There was never a case in point where the CDC was under the point of eviction from the national headquarters because of the inability to pay their rent. One of the cardinal responsibilities of a father, and I'm drawing a relationship here, is to provide accommodation for your children. A ruling party is a father. Similarly, if we go into analogy, because you are seeking to lead a country.
To my friends on the other side, we are citizens of this country. Our safety is important. So I send a message to you, Waka, make sure that no police get in the street and use arms. They will be the last one in doors. They will not have it. It's not a threat. It's our simple liberty. Make sure that we want that. The rest go to ask questions. But good to see you.
It is true that we don't enjoy doing these protests. They will protest again. My message to you: peace is the ultimate. Yeah, doesn't matter how you protest every day, so they cannot be passionate. My word, I hope it's still with you. You have your right as citizen of the country, and I hope those that are on my voice around the globe, peace is the only way for peace, trust me. Our voice is in trouble.
I was asked to replace her, hoping that they could follow this. There was a bill at the legislature called an Afatu bill. That bill will definitely benefit our motorcyclists, our tricycles, riders, and the issue of transportation. We were able to support the free education bill. We are the ones at the legislature that is demanding national that government takes responsibility to take care of students who parents cannot afford. But this one will not just be limited to those who parents cannot. So we have led a lot of advocacy, at the legislature for the Liberian people, the young people, and today we can see that many good things have happened in Liberia under George Weah's administration. As a servant of the people, in 2 years we have seen a lot of very good things happening in our district, and we full roads, major roads in District Number 9 that were paved, and we also have our young people. So we also fought at the legislature, for which we are asking that there must be vocational education placed into the curriculum of all schools in Liberia, so that while our children are going to grade school, they should also be learning something to prepare them for a better future. Those are things when we get back to the legislature we're going to focus on. Those things are on the book.
Those that said they need to rescue us, they should understand that they said that they want to rescue this country. So police shooting people was not the intention of the struggle. That's why I train the police to be conscious of the Liberian people and make sure that they be friendly with them when it comes to the protests, give them food and water. It's important. Those that are crying and say they want to protest, they are now the government of the country. They have a federal. We need to hear that shooting innocent protesters, Liberians. You cannot speak. According to them, I will keep them on fire, but the feet must be on double fire. They cannot allow any police director to direct people getting the sense that are protesting for their rights. That's why we need to do it. That police director, I can guarantee him, when this thing happens, we will march to him and bring him to court. Everything that was done, according to them, that didn't happen. What we see, people are dying just in a common protest, is wrong, and we must spread it. We have to stand up as citizens of this country. This will not happen no more. In our history, there was a young man when Esther Parker was aroused from Ghana, and the citizens marched in the street and made sure that the police director came down. This country, the reason we ask for peace, and we led the army and the police to be an army of good and police of good in the interest of the people. Those that were in power, when they shooting guns and what have you, they come back to power and use the same gun, we will not allow them. We will not allow it. We are prepared to make sure that the citizens have the right to protest, to speak to anyone they want to let them consent. And that's what we're going to do. So I want to send this message to the international community. They were there 10 hours. freedom, symbol of unity, symbol of peace. Every leader in this world that become the best leader pass through Liberia. Our hatred does not be war.
Black people will use electronic and print media. They use everything to promulgate dirty propaganda. So they take advantage of that and they spread their own dirty propaganda to outpower us, to outsmart us, to dirty us around the world. So investors cannot come here because you want to come. They'll be afraid. That's their intention, not to allow investors to come. So they do all kinds of things to destroy this government image. That's what I know. Because this government cannot involve itself in killing people and killing people. President Joshua, when he became president, he opened a church.
In more recent time, and just over the weekend, Ambassador Joseph Boyka made a statement that people shouldn't take men's job and give it to boys. He's a boy taking over a man's task in the presidency. What do you make of that?
Two things I want to say. That statement doesn't go well with me. If Mr. Weir is a boy, then I think he's a good boy. Because Joseph Boyka, former Vice President Boyka, dropped in his heart, he collapsed. Almost died. It is that boy, because George Weir, who ran there, pick him up, charter a plane to fly him abroad for open heart surgery and made him to live today with pacemaker battery. He's a battery total right now. So the battery is controlled by the white man who gave it in the medical center where he was flown to. So maybe he's not well to speak the way he's speaking. He's not well. He's using battery. It's not normal. A man who is using battery and a man who has a natural eye, compare the two. So Joseph Boyka, the former vice president, he's using battery. He's a battery total. Such a man cannot even be president of this country. He said, so maybe that the frustration making to speak the way he did, calling the president boy. So Joseph Boyka, the former vice president, he's using battery. He's a battery total. Such a man cannot even be president of this country. He said, so maybe that the frustration making to speak the way he did, calling the president boy. So Joseph Boyka, the former vice president, he's using battery. He's a battery total. Such a man cannot even be president of this country. He said, so maybe that the frustration making to speak the way he did, calling the president boy. How many million people voted that boy? So many millions. Look at this boy and you elected him. Maybe you call Joseph, George Weir boy because of the age, because Joseph Boyka is over 70 and this boy is about 50 something. So when you say boy, well, that's it. But boy in the sense of immaturity, no. George Weir is mature. He's mature. That's why he told Joseph Boyka on the ground where he collapsed to fly him abroad for medical checkup, for medical heart surgery. That's what made him to live today. I think Joseph Boyka, in conclusion, should be very grateful to that boy who flew in out of the country for open heart surgery that make him to live today. But the way Joseph speaks, the way he acts, he is one of the 9 ungrateful lepers. The fact is, you could have know you, but he did not. He saved this old man. But what the old man is returning is ungratefulness. Call this president boy. You call the whole Liberian president boy, then you old man, you throw him battery around here. But I cannot look at a battery man and elect you, because any minute you could collapse. But you already say you want to be president, and we know your record. You're on the time bomb, on the borderline.
Just sitting and laughing and reading the comment section. John Balu said the reason why he's in this is to save the state. Save Liberia. But Senator Balu was senator when in his county, 5 wonderful Liberians gruesomely murdered. Their bodies were mutilated. He didn't say anything. A colleague who was then a senator, whose name is enshrined in the TRC report, whose testimony you can find everywhere, that allegedly carried out a massacre on the Kabbalah River, became a senator from jail. He came from jail. That case died in Maryland. Senator Balu was senator. Senator Balu was senator when Keith Dubois was killed. Senator Balu was senator when the Fuller man was beheaded in River G. Senator Balu was senator when the 17 young men were killed between Lower Magidi and Grand Bassa County. Senator Balu was senator when one of the people who funding all of his effort was giving Intergenetic Hospital money and squash car to block it for him to move on traveling ban and access. But today, he say he wants to save the country. Senator Balu was senator when Bridgeway from London came to do prospect in Liberia. Senator Balu then got vehicle and money.
Balu that Brian the senator.
He thought of saving Liberia then. You know, sometimes some people sit on a particular platform, and this is the reason why the argument is going to get big this few times. Because look, I
don't think I can do this. It's against my faith. I can.
Agostina.
I see.
You can't put me in any situation that I can handle. Don't do it to me. You can't put me in any situation that I can handle. Don't do it to me. You can't put me in any situation that I can handle. Don't do it to me. If you talk to somebody and they tell you, say, oh, because I'm more, don't do it. Don't put me in any situation I can handle.
I don't
Yeah.
talk to anybody, boy.
No. Okay, you ain't got to do it. What you do for me? Let's just go to the lady tomorrow morning. We'll see her. That's all. You ain't got to do anything. Yeah.
For what now?
Agostina, don't put me in any situation I can handle. Well, yeah.
To the
All right. I'm coming for you after your so we can go see her, yeah?
So for what now?
Not doing anything. We just go see her.
I'm not doing anything, but I can back into it. I can't afford it.
Agostina, then it will not be for me.
It's not a job budget. And somebody come and stand in front of me and say, represent the Green in the public. It's a disservice to you. And you must hold their feet to the fire because some of you voted for these thieves. Okay? $1,000 is a thief. It's a thief. I'm telling you, it's a thief. Anybody who lie on what you talk, he had checked here. We published no checks before. He denied a signature on those checks before 2020 campaign. He's a common criminal. I'm saying that to you. He's a common criminal. There's the budget he voted for. He's a criminal because he lied at $3.6 million not in the budget. He can't take me anywhere. I defy him. That's a criminal. No, I'm not angry. I'm being forceful. I'm being intellectual. I'm providing facts. No, I said something I didn't mention him, so they don't know I'm a medicine. He has no integrity in life or integrity. He's in the crisis of integrity. He's drowning in the crisis of integrity. He's not only fake. He's drowning in the crisis of integrity. I say he's a criminal. He's a thief. To take up for the $5,000 car in the budget to vote for it, not just to vote for it. And you then inform the people because everything with your passport. Hey, he didn't say anything about it. Okay, the passport he vote. Why he didn't say? Why he didn't say he voted for it? The records are there, gentlemen. Said Delon should be treated as a common criminal for lying to the public that there's no $3.6 million in the budget. Okay, and they said they didn't want it. Why they place it? There's $3.6 million. Yeah, the money, yeah. The thing is in the budget. There's the final budget. So they don't tell you when they took it all. They said when they put it. I bet you one question is when they took it out. Can you show us where you put your share? That's the question. If they answer that question, come back to me.
We now go over to Robert Tier of the Unity Party.
Yeah, everything I do, we must first tell the thing to the people.
That's what I'm saying.
We've been doing that with people clean the champagne in our very community. So, instead of science said, go to people, ask them what they name. And so you pointing them to say, I name this. But if you don't ask your people, what do you care to them? So before I ask them what they need, and what they need, I will take them to them.
Your three major priorities.
Right now, if you look at I'm a teacher in profession.
You teacher?
Yeah, I'm a teacher. The second thing is that we want the boroughs autonomous.
The boroughs what?
It's autonomous. It's autonomous. Yeah, it's autonomous.
Go ahead.
And we look at some of the things we want to consider because we talk about autonomous. That means you have a lot of facility, a lot of things that you do in the borough. And if you are autonomous and you have other things to do, and if you look at the good time, many young people are graduated from college in the district. Right now, the first thing we embarked was to have a reconciliation regional meeting out of the communities.
So Tia, at what level were you teaching? Was it elementary, junior high, or senior high?
We're teaching elementary divisions.
Oh, okay.
Elementary division. And we're credible, we are more accessible, and we're development oriented. So hello, Robert B. here is the librarian. After our graduation from the elementary school, we keep the Murray Road to attend the junior high school, the Positive Junior High School, and from there we went to Central High and we graduated 1998. I'm a teacher in profession. Robert here is one of the daughter's son. Robert here is one of the incredible sons. Robert here is deserved to be a servant in the district. Robert here is a public servant. I always work at the National Security Agency in Kemakan, in Kemakan.
Job get bring her to go Steve to the main store. So the man wanted for you to go Steve on the web post store. Yeah, he said I'm join to go Steve to the web main store to get money to the store. They will go take it from there. I said, my man, I only buy for the same leisure. Then how can the police catch you now? The police before the man call me back. I was on the 18th. They more. The same man now? Yeah, the same man. The same man who want for you to go Steve? Yeah, he called me on the 18th. Yeah. I was in the around about 8:30. The man called me. He said, oh, my man, I'll let you be there and call you back again. So that time you go to work? I go to work. You different working place, you come to the man? Yeah, I'm from to my working area to Clarence to now go to the man. To go Steve now? No, I don't go Steve. I go Steve. I go to yeah. I see the man say the man go Steve. How you question me, man? The thing you want for me to explain for you to understand, yeah. Then you still questioning me, doubling the question. How many talk clear now? Okay, let's go now. I beg you, sorry. I see. When the man call me in there, he asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say, we are 3.
You told the message you're 3.
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea to carry to the
message you want to give you what tea?
Tea. Have milk tea.
Oh, milk tea.
Yeah.
For you to drink.
And so no matter what people say or do, we have to keep the country up and running. We may have our differences as any way we can, but we have to keep the country up and running. So whether it's running good or bad, but the idea, we have to keep it up and running. So we will do. So last Sierra Brown, yeah, I said the sound is good. I'm asking you on purpose, and I'll not tell you that purpose. Just try to see whether the sound quality is good online, offline, and as well, I just want to know before we kick the ball rolling. Because tonight is an interesting night. This is the eve of the CDC's weekend's gala, and I, transforming setbacks into great comebacks, and that's what it is. And I think for sure. And we think for sure we'll certainly get there, no matter what the circumstances are. We will certainly get there. And with God above all, we will over all certainly prevail. And God is going to take us through in all that we do. So we are forever grateful to the Almighty God for every and anything we do, especially as a people, and we are forever grateful to the Almighty God. All right, and the United States of America, it is coming up. We think for sure with a fantastic debate for tonight. Trump and Biden going to interface for the first time, and since the 2020 Buhaha political. And I stop and think, and of course, they're going to be facing again and in their debates. Why it is true that all these charges, indictments, convictions, appeals are all against Donald Trump. The presumption of innocence is what he still enjoys, and he's going to be enjoying that presumption of innocence as he continues to move on. It was in Liberia here where you people were thinking that when people are sanctioned, they're not supposed to participate in election. Could you imagine with all that's going on in America, Trump still enjoys the presumption of innocence. He's presumed innocent until proven guilty. So he's enjoying the presumption of innocence. In fact, as far as their politics go, history goes, even if he were to be found guilty in some instances, other analysts are saying that the precedent is there that he may still likely contest. But when it comes to Liberia, you people just take some of the things, and we are trying to highlight these things that I was saying in our talk. It's not that we support those people whom apparently people may have concrete reason against for sanctioning them, which of course they can, but you can't just deny the man his rights. It was out of that same presumption of innocence that Brandon Samuka was able to contest the election in Lofa County. It was that same presumption of innocence. So we did not say, all we are now pushing is that of all the people who were there, all the people who were there, and so forth, and doing what they can, we thought that Bwaka would have looked for a clean character to put there because they saw this coming. We're not saying that they were wrong for putting Samuka there, no, but we said in their judgment at the time, it was not good that they took the risk they took, and the risk did affect them. Because you want a ticket and somebody will win and so forth. So you have all of that supporting Lofa County. You are putting anybody that person was going to win, clean person. But why you have to put somebody who has some, the chances, the issue about presumption of innocence is that when you are taking your case at the level of the Supreme Court, it's a 50-50 chance. You either win it or you lose it. So it's a 50-50 chance at that level. So you can't be 100%. So you look for somebody. But again, like the Americans are doing, I hope you follow their democracy. These are people that will model everything after, even our legal system. So you follow these things. These are things that we know in any reasonable man thinking will happen. You look at us here, you call us names. But it is happening right in the very America that you wanted to depend on their quote-unquote and non-judicial action, because the issue of a sanction is more political. It's not legal. So sanction is political, not legal. So you look at political action, and then you want to use legal basis to deny somebody from politically participating, because the intent of it is to see to it that this person does not participate politically, to weaken you. That's why it's for. So when you talk about this is about politics, it's not legal. It means that because law will stop you, but politics does not stop you. But what it does is that it beclouds your character. It makes you, it presents you in a way that people may not want to vote for you. And if people choose not to vote for you, it is their right not to vote for you. Whether you like it or not, you can't take anybody to court for not voting for you. So that's what makes it political. So in this case, people were passing all over the place. Oh, you don't vote for people here and there. Now they were telling us not to vote for people here and there. Look at where we are. You know, and so this is what it is. And we are very grateful to the Almighty God that some of these things we said before are coming to the public glare, not only in Liberia, but it's coming to the public glare the world over. Donald Trump, with all of the charges against him, convictions in courts, presumption of innocence he still enjoys, going at the level of their Supreme Court, he has stayed a front runner in the United States pending elections. Today, he's going to be interfacing a man who has no character as such. And he going there to face that man. If it were in Liberia, I know some of you have said, oh, we're not going to face the man. That man get criminal indictment. No, Biden doesn't see it that way. They are Democrats, they don't see it that way. Trump may have all the charges, that different thing by itself. Joe Biden will still have to face Trump to answer questions and see how they are going to address the country issues. It's not about pressing. Because if it comes to pressing, Trump has charges against him. But the country had not made a final determination on him. Even if they were to do it, there are precedents where we are even thinking that he could still go on. And so those are some of the things that I would think for sure you just need to look at. And I would think for sure we are certainly getting it. Some of these things we stress all of the time. You should just be able to look at it and see where we are going as a people. Yeah, and look at it. And you know, sometimes when anything happening, we're liking it to what happened here, so that you see it and know it. Oh, what do you know? We're beginning to know that we are nasty, we are bad, all but this, that. No, but we are all, if those things are in the ground, we are all the same. Nobody is better than their friend. So that's what we try to do all the time. And in the end, in the future, you will see the very things that you didn't agree with us on, it will happen, and people conduct and things will make you to think that the guy were talking it in there. But because so people in Margibi County, they're all the kind of thing that they were on. They were here for nothing. Donald Trump now. Maybe some of you don't follow international politics. So it becomes an issue. And you got to just study it. You got to know it. Which is very much good for you. Sanjay Bakwe. I'm not expecting him. What's that? No, they don't tell me anything. Tell them, say, I don't know what their issues are. But just go there, just say, I don't know. But yeah, so you see why we are talking, and so those are some of the issues. So we are very grateful to the Almighty God that we are here tonight on this very day. Today is the eve of the CDC's ride. On tomorrow, come back and see to it, rallying their base to see to it that there's still hope alive and so forth. That is going to be done tomorrow. I don't know what's happening. And things are very strange. And I think organization planning and so forth, these are issues that people may not be sure to understand. Something is not just right somewhere. But again, we have to right the wrongs and then make it to work, because that's what it is. And we have to move on. But you see, in this country, I really supposed to host Kwame Opa weeks, and but I think with the CDC program, I'm hearing even outside with no and proper something. I'm hearing a Janji Bakwe, the former superintendent of Grand Bassa, and having weeks are supposed to be here. I don't know, but again, I will try to do, because this is the eve, and this the eve of their day, and that starts their days that starts. And that start on tomorrow. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, they will come and talk about it. So I think we'll be able to give them that space. All right, so let us move on. The cash giveaway continues. Today's Thursday, and it's back to 2005. And what normally I would tell people to do with the 2005 is when you get it, keep it. Hit for tomorrow. The 20,000 is up for tomorrow, so you can really get it. And so that's what it is. So you fish for today, you keep it, and then you go and blast out for tomorrow. That's what it is. We are very grateful to the Almighty God that we are certainly getting there. Tonight, let me just say something in passing before we can be ushering the guests. I didn't expect them, but you got to make way out of nowhere, especially when things are happening. You got to, so we'll have to, yeah, maybe they tried reaching me, but they didn't reach me really. Yeah, but we'll try to make amends to make sure that it works. Yeah, for our people. And I think we will certainly get there, and we will certainly get there. So a lot of things are happening. Lots and lots of things are happening in this country. And we'll deal with them sufficiently so that you have an idea as to what your country is like and how your country is proceeding and how your leaders are proceeding. Let me just say this before our guests can come in. And we'll host our guests, Janje Bakwe, and out of Arvin Wise. I just heard that they will be coming on the show. So they will come, and they're supposed to come, and they will sit, and we'll give them time to sit, and they will talk, and we'll give them time to talk. I know most of you say this that your business. We determine what we want to do here, right? Yeah, we are certainly getting there. We'll get there, no matter what it is. So let me just say something, and I want you to get this clear. When we talked about the election that ended, it all surrounded jealousy, envy, and all kinds of things. You didn't really believe it. But these things are showing faces right into your own eyes. Today, in Kenya, a group of young people chose to take their destiny from politicians and shifted it by using the constitution that says all power is inherent in the people. When they say inherent, me, it's something that, you know, if somebody tell you, say you inherited your parents' property, it's your inherent right. When you hear it like that, that means it's something that even the person who come in there can take away from you before they could even come, is already inside you. It's gifted to you. All power is not inherited. They didn't put it, they say inherent. That means you inherited it. That means your forefathers way back, they took that power. They gave it from generation to generation to generation to generation. So the people who just coming new, they are coming to meet your inheritance. That inheritance is the power. It is your right. So the people in Kenya, especially the young people, who's got future, it ain't the old people, no. The old people are passing away. If we allow them to just run that thing any kind of way to store our future and do XYZ, we can't give it to them like that. We will go to election, we'll allow them to lead, but we are not giving it to them. It's for us. We have it to keep. We can determine to give it to them to manage it, but we are not donating it to them. Because when you donate something to somebody, you lose possession of it. So you can ask somebody to manage your house. Does it mean you have given a house to the person? No. It is an inherent right. You have a property right to it. That person occupying it does not mean, you know, occupancy. I always told my people, I said, occupancy is not ownership. Occupant, you could occupy a place, but it doesn't mean you own it. So these people in these political offices, they are occupants. They are not owners. So the ownership of the political office, it rests with you, the ordinary citizen. That's why they say all the power is inherent in the people. That power that is inherent in you is what that makes you the owner of that power. They are just occupying it, but they are not the owner of the power. So as a result of that, when you get ready and you won't flush them out, you can use your tattoo that you have to say, this is my house. You are just occupying it. I want for you to leave. I will give you notice. So that's why you see the occupants can be given notices to leave. And the notice can even be given by one who has an ownership status. Or by virtue of power of attorney, that person has some level of ownership status. That's when you can take it and then say, look, that's what it is, you can leave. The person who gave you notice. So if you don't own anything, you can give anybody to notice for them to leave it. So that power is, and that is what the guys do. And you know the unique situation about that you can combine both Kenya and that of Liberia situation. Kenya's elections were fiercely contested, and the way the result went, it was not too convincing. So as a result of that, it speaks a lot to how the country will be run. Now, you come to Liberia's election as well. So you saw a president in Kenya to be brought down to his knees. And in the end, he had to say, the people who gave us the power, they have said that this XYZ bill that we intend to pass will affect them. So as a result of it going to affect them, I as president, whom they gave this power to, when they speak, I have to listen. So as a result of that, boom, I will let it go. I'm not going to sign it. Because the president needs to operate in peace. And until you could do that, so the power, the people enjoy it, not like you subconning to them. You can't subcon to people. You don't call that subcon. No. You call it obeying the people who gave you the power. So let's say, for instance, old man Samson is my boss. He tells me, say, AB, SYZ. Then hear myself join inside. Old man Samson say, if you don't do SYZ, you will leave. Then I decide to allow it work. Then you say, I subcon to old man Samson. No, I have to obey. You call that obedience. You don't call it subcon. Subcon means you have equal power that you're supposed to have exercised, but the other power overpower your power. Then you subcon. Subcon means for you to give away something. No. In this case, when your boss is dictating to you, you call that detection, right? Yeah. But when your boss tells you to do something, and by virtue of the fact that he's your boss, and who the one supposed to tell you to do X, Y, Z, you know, and this is what will happen. In that case, you will have to do it. It doesn't mean subcon. No, you have to obey. So those are, you know, we think for sure we are certainly getting there. So why am I saying all of this? Tomorrow is going to be the CDC's God. And some of us, we left on the radio after the election, people thought we have been broken. But if we had broken down, look at the thousands of Liberians, the millions of Liberians who have been broken down as well. Just 17,000 votes divides everything. And they were depending on us to listen to us consistently on the radio to tell them that hope is still alive. God did this on purpose. We sustained it. Even after the election, when all hopes were broken, everyone else, we sustained it today. Whatever we predicted, even after the election was held, the same predictions came true today. Even up to now, they are still coming true. Thus bringing smiles on the faces of people in the wake of the defeat that their party experienced. We were not only speaking to partisans, but we were speaking to people who had the country at heart. And they were not, look, they were non-partisans who never had any time for anything, but they just believed that this Joseph Boakai man, his administration would have been better. So they were even prefer CDC. Preferring CDC doesn't make them seditious. But they too were also there and they were hurt by that. That group is there. Then you have the real seditious or whatever it is who say that group is also there. Now in the wake of all the buha, all the troubles all over the place, they were looking for hope. Who needed to speak with them? We kept everything up and running until today. So the time is now. We have played our part. And the time is now to go and see to it that you can work it out. But there's a caveat. And I will have to say this. I will show you something. Let me show you something. Then maybe you will get to know. Let me show you something. When we told you all that jealousy and envy these people then were on, it was not about your lives. It was not about transformation for you. Now you're about to see it. I don't know which one of y'all know these people. Mohammed Ba, and y'all heard about one Christopher Hayes Odanuga or Odanuga. Okay, Odanuga. All right. And these people, that city boss. So these people, they all were just fighting for power so that they can come and enjoy what they thought other people were enjoying and not about you. We told you all of these things. And for every time they display these things that they saw in time past as being bad, heartless, careless about the welfare of the people, insensitive to the plights of the Liberian people, will highlight it for you so that you can see it. Today, Amos 12 that had, when you used to look at Amos 12 face, sometimes either that ring warrant or something was on his face, he was just looking dark in his face or whatever, that the Amos 12 can be on TikTok every time now. You see showing himself up because why? They are now benefiting from the jealousy and envy they used to bring this country, and they wanted to tear this country down, carry the country to war just for their greed and anger. These are the things they were doing. People are more early then. They wanted to tear this country down. Joseph Boakai wanted to tear this country down. Look at him today. Look at Katumbo. Look at how they are today. Their bodies have changed. Everything about them have changed. Has anything changed for you? No. So I saw this picture and I said, look, let me share it with the class. Yeah, let me share it with the class. Don't me get time for any young man who really wanted to tear this country down because of greed. Because the very thing you went against your friend them for, nothing else you're doing. You just saw certain people, what they made them traveling, what they got, let move them from there, let lie on them, let pour all the lies together, let them move from there, so that we can have the opportunity. That's what they did. Look at here today. Keep playing the cash giveaway. We are back to the 2005, like I said, and I keep doing what you can. When you get that money, you keep it. So let me share with you something. Let me share with you something I saw, which of course is very terrible. The country, we have said it over and over. Now who they are seeing here? Now who they are seeing there? So sitting in our backs. If you call the person name, I'll call the person name on the air right here, so that our people will hear and know who is this person that we are talking about. That the kind of life that they wanted to live, for which they were tearing down this whole country. Let's bring them down. If it will cause for us to go to war, let's go to war. We can't continue on this. We are suffering. We are suffering a lot. I told you people from onset. This is what this whole fight was about. This is why they were calling us names. That is why they were tearing us down. Look at this. This is Christopher Hay Onanuga sitting down in an apartment or plane. Where whole apartment that they playing at. The very books that they were chasing people for and passing all, y'all bring back all the passport, because all these diplomatic immunities and things, they get ready, they made it a load of everyone else who were holding red book passing around, they were criminals. That the people they here passing around today. These are the people. Is this why they all wanted to tear down this country? Thank God, Joe, we are saying you don't have to tear the country down because of red book. You don't have to tear this country down because you want to ride plane. You don't have to tear this country down because you want to charter a whole plane and be inside. These are people. No, we're here alone. That is it. Look here. This is it. These are the people. That the people they who we were talking about. You see them there? You see, they themselves come up to post a non-secret something. They are telling you that this is what they fought for. Look. Let me tell you something. We have said this over and over. And you know, one thing I will not do, and I resolve now to do, not to do, is that to argue with any struggling Liberian out there about Joseph Boakai, because you don't even know. I will never ever, I used to come down sometimes for the sake of respect, community, just for all to interact. I used to go and sit down with some of them and whatever it would just joke about it. But this time I'm not joking. Anybody who down there and you're looking at your life, in fact, when I even appear, why should I even be arguing with you when your life is still down there? You're looking like you're suffering, poverty eating you up. You see yourself, you oh gosh, it's terrible. So this time, and not about disrespecting you. When I come down, I'm not going to argue with anybody about Joseph Boakai in community anymore, because later you don't have correct thinking. Because people who are not able to think for themselves, I will not, because these kind of people, when they are living a kind of life and you and myself standing down there, you stay arguing there until you don't have sense. So as a result, not disrespect. I'm just saying, I will not have my head now. So you just choose to live there. So as a result, why would I be sitting and arguing with somebody who has made a choice to say, I agree, my life will remain like this. Yeah, the other people just go there. These are the people who support envy. And I told you, there are certain group of people, no matter what the country going on, they will say, yes, we agree. What are they sleeping in Zing house and they are dead? They don't care. Because they are envy and jealous. Say, well, why is it their neighbor used to come from work and be eating chicken? So that kind of person who die and not get enemies of upgrading themselves. They're not improving their lives. They're not fighting for anything, but they're just there to be envying people. They're not thinking about how to improve their life. How they're envying people. Those kind of people who will look at their neighbors coming and they say, why their neighbor cheering and laughing? And because the person can go to work and come with small things. Those kind of people, I will not argue with you again. Because the idea is, as for you and your entire household, your entire family, you just agree that indeed your life like that, you see it by far better that all will remain like that. Those kind of people, they are not arguing with them. So as a result, I've just decided to suspend it when I saw this thing today. Because these are the people that are talking out there for these young folks, for these guys. All of them, the book that we're talking about, y'all bring all the diplomatic passport, they're all over. These are the young guys that are enjoying themselves now. Your book that is there now, all over the place. You're crazy then there in whole apartment. They're crazy then there in apartment. In fact, players not even there. They're in the weapon channel, what they call it in Beijing. They say they're going to Beijing, China. That they kind of playing in the ride. Then they're showing it to you. Why your lives remain the same? Terrible enough for you. And you're seeing that. You see, these are things that we have said before. You used to be insulting us. Your insult, that one are your business. So you see now? These are the guys that enjoy and passing all over the place. I don't care to call them by their names or whatever it is. But that's the life. So today, the kind of thing going on. Then your party or other people call you and say, look, let's start rallying for hope. And tomorrow, you're not supposed to show up at that occasion. You're supposed to. You're supposed to. Because this country is not progressing. They have politicized every fabric of our society. Everything is done. You're not going there because of we are. No, you're not forced. You're not forced. At least about time like this, in 2018, and I so forth, they were rallying for protests to obstruct government activities. Today, you decided to do it in a refined way to say, look, let us come and see in the wake of our problems. Let us come and reunite and have a common goal and have to think that we are stay alive and we stay have hope. And that is what we fought for. And that is what we have been fighting for. It is time, even on the ring or whatever it is, you will show up at that occasion to make a statement. Because these people are these the kind of serious people that you will see. You see some of the issues? But anyway, John J. Bakwe and Alvin Wilson, they'll be right here. And like I said, by tomorrow, maybe by the grace of God, in the evening, and because I will be somewhere, somehow running after some things. And so I think for sure we are certainly getting there. So we just thought to highlight some of these things so that you get to know as to where we are as a people. Yeah. You know, for some of us, we said we are prepared for this moment. I would look forward to seeing a Liberia where things would have been by far better than it was. And I will never see things, but I want for somebody to tell me, say, this is what used to happen and not happening. Don't insult, don't do anything. Just say, this is what I used to happen and what not happening again. What is the improvement? Even in the structure of government, I'm talking about development for now because you got to structure the government before you think about development, right? Okay, let's agree. In the structure of government, what is it that is more improved than the CDC ever did in terms of structure of governance, of government? Tell me that one. Structural wise. Are we having more bored people everywhere than the incompetent people that CDC was having in place? Tell us that. Those are the arguments you're supposed to be happy. Let's look at the structure because it is the structural foundation of the government that will tell you how the government is going to succeed. The caliber of people who are employed to do the job. Those are the kind of questions you ask yourself. Forget about what about the yellow machine coming? What about coming? Yellow machine, like I say, can in the country waste all over the place. Does that solve the Liberian people problem? Is that the kind of argument that you want to proffer? How does yellow machine coming empower me? In fact, yellow machines coming to this country, it become a liability. Let me tell you something. Even when you bring buses in this country, somewhat it can be liability. Let me tell you the disadvantageous part of it. That's why you see America. The people, most of their programs and things are public-private partnership. Public-private partnership. The Americans will give it to the private corporations to do the jobs. To do the jobs. So as a result, you'll see that all the liabilities incurred here, that for instance, if it is road issue, they give it to private company. Because as to whether the machines fall to fix it, the private company has signed a contract that it will make sure that road is fixed all of the time. All the liabilities that's supposed to be incurred. But if this is the advantageous part is that the government will be able to manage its own thing. It may not be too expensive or so forth. That's the advantageous part. The disadvantageous part of it is that since government will be operating cheaply, meaning to recover liabilities that must have been incurred, the wear and tears, it will become so difficult for government because the government, let's say for instance, the MTA buses are operating cheaply. So the repair of buses, the transportation that you are trying to get in the fields and so forth is different. So to get those buses repaired, you can depend on the transport fare that you've been collecting. So as a result, government has to always subsidize the MTA. But let's say, for instance, you took that whole MTA and give it to the private corporation and say, look, MTA will be managed by so and so. That group will be responsible to deal with it, the buses repair or whatever it is now on government. All government knows is that service deliverable must be there at all times. So as a result, efficiency and productivity will be key. So you bringing machine here that will waste here and there. Have you ever seen Liberian people manage government properties before? You see that? Government cars can remain new and get ratting. You know why? Oh, so you will get to learn your lesson on those things. So these things that you are bringing become liability. What thing never used to happen under Ellen Johnson said the government, where is county social development fund? Where people used to get ready to buy yellow machines. Every county social development fund will buy yellow machines and things, and it will be in the counties. What happened to those machines? They all broke down. Because why? Maintenance. Because when they ready to go clear the other road, the other people just get ready to put in requests. We want for the machine to count this side to come clear our road. Political competition. The other man wanted area is put fuel inside. What are that ratting fuel, jetted fuel? All the things that they just put it inside. The man buy it, just put it inside, spoil the machine. So you seen it? Don't think that was so that thing behind me thinking yellow machines come to that country will become a big liability to this country. You will see it wasting all over the place because why? It will be politically treated, and when it's politically treated, you think who will care? Yeah, see, that's why you see, wasting all over the place. I cannot tell them be happy about. They don't even know about economic gains. They don't even know how to economically, and I take some decisions that will be able to help the country. By the way, tomorrow the CDC people they coming outside, and like I told you people always, we are certainly, and this is what it is, and we are certainly getting there. Guys already set it up. Yeah, put it on screen. Put it on screen. Yeah, them. Right? Let me tell you, crazy enjoy yourself. Big plane, enjoying yourself all over the place. I say horse. Now horse. That's what I want. Airbus. Big house plane. Yeah. Yes. All right. Okay. So we have our guest right here with us. Okay. So we have our guests right here with us here. Whether they were invited correct or not correct, they are there at their station and their brother. That's why I'm hosting it anytime they can walk in. And you okay? You want to get it? Yeah, you can use it. You can use mine. I'm not staying to use it. Hope you get him. So we have. Someone is telling me there's an echo in the back from here. Which one? This. Yeah, but you got to. So 5 is here. You got to. Oh my God. Okay. Right. So we are certainly getting. So you can put on. All right. So we have with us on the screen and announced by radio. We have the former superintendent of Grand Bassa County, in presence of I still call him Honorable, and Janche Bakwe. He's right here with us tonight, alongside and the former assistant minister for technical affairs. These are brains that know about structure of governance and so forth in their own areas. And Alvin Wilson, but they are all the CDC executives, and they are right here. Tomorrow the CDC begins already. 3 days. It kicks off on tomorrow officially, and it will end on Sunday. So they are right here to tell us more about it, why now, and so forth, why they are doing what they are doing, and what assurances and they can give the public, especially in the wake of these kind of times. And we think for sure we are certainly getting it. Hello, former Sue, how you doing, sir? How's everything with you? Definitely.
To express what will be happening beginning tomorrow. And it is good to be here.
Okay.
It is debut program for me.
Yeah, for you. You always call me. Yeah. But your appearance, in-person appearance. Yeah, so it's
in fact, I'm going live on my post and I see a lot of fans of Citizen following.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
We are in a position right now. We are prepared to engage government. And we're going to do everything possible to constructively engage government. Also, probably our counter engagement, which of course we have pledged our support to those in charge of the country right now. I want to work along with them to make sure that the country achieve its developmental agenda. So hopefully we're here to inform people about partisans, well wishers, put us for what will happen beginning Friday to Sunday at the headquarters of the Congress of Democratic Change, where the militant day will be celebrated.
The militant day will be celebrated. So, how are you doing, sir? How's everything with you?
What democracy should be in terms of So people like you, we want to recognize that you play a very pivotal role, and you are doing extremely well with your team and the rest of the Freedom of the family. Let me extend greetings to more than 1 million seditionists and sympathizers and partisans across the land of this country. that he has spirit, that he has momentum to participate into a program that will be held tomorrow and will be closing Sunday, which is being named and carved in the history of the revolutionary calendar event
June 30, trophies and medals will be
so
presented
that
by
we
Senator Sal Ali Joseph of Wazorado County. Other sporting activities include Ludo game, checkers, chess, Scrabble, NAFO, hopscotch, and many, many more. The political leader of the Mighty Congress of Democratic Change, Ambassador George M. Weah, along with the legislators headed by Caucus Chair, Senator Nathaniel Edward Gill, House Speaker J. Fonda T. Cooper, and Deputy Speaker Thomas B. Fowler will lead an array of lawmakers, while Chairman Janga Augustus Cole, along with Secretary General Jefferson T. Kochi, will lead scores of party leaders to celebrate with you on this unique occasion in the history of the CDC. Citizens, wherever you are, come out in your numbers, in your colors, in your berets, from June 28th to the 30th at the national headquarters of the CDC in Congo Town. So come out, citizens. It's time to celebrate while you reconsolidate. See you in Congo Town.
We admitted knowingly that they squander all opportunities that supposed to develop Liberia under the 12 years of Madam Selig and Joseph Bagaria. If they can come back to the power by whatever means, whatever President George Weah and the People's Party, the massive party, the opportunities that these people squandered years ago, it was to deny Clarotown, Vartan, Blue Community of Recreation Center and roads. Or just 6 years of democratic rule by President George Manem Weah. Today, you see, Clarotown have been transformed into a modest community. You can have recreation centers. You can pass through from Freeport and enter Clarotown. You come back to Vartan and you come to City of Monrovia. That did not happen since 1847. But yet they argue that we cannot come back to power. Probably, maybe the promises they made, they are fulfilled in 6 months. Now, if you look at the Queen War, I talk about transforming setback into a great comeback. It tells you that, look, we recognize when we went wrong. And we recognize what propaganda played a pivotal role in detuning us electorally. What we can do, we are not going to behave like how they behave to us. I can remember in 2017, after 2017 election, after inauguration, we saw the barrage of protests across the country.
in our government. Today, if you look at the formation of the Unity Party and the Alliance government, you can find no permanent opposition in the government. Some are still telling me that the country is not divided on red or maybe green and blue lands. All we can say to you is, on the celebration of our militant days, in fact, there are people who didn't follow our activities even when we were in the opposition, even coming to government. We have celebrated militant days for over 20 years in our existing political institution. I repeat,
Well, you always had that.
we have celebrated militant days, even in the opposition and in government. We celebrated that day. Yes, the month of June set aside. You know, you see, these are misunderstanding of those who are opposition to us. They don't understand how we amalgamate forces of good against the forces of evil. Now, the Militant Day set aside came after 2005 election. When the late Papi Soro, the late Jingwe, the list go on and on. The part of the faithful have instructions to emancipate our people. At that point, the Congress of Democratic Change got to realize that there are many foreign heroes and heroes who are departed, or we need to celebrate, even those who are still alive. We need to celebrate them to remember our struggle. Our celebration is not about being militant. Somebody look. Well, even when citizens are wearing barrel, people criticize wearing barrel. Today, many people wear barrel now, even the imposition, the opposition, and the opposition. Most of them wear barrel. The thing they criticized yesterday, it became a process of using beyond reasonable doubt. Everybody wear barrel. Look at the party will barrel. All the political opposition will barrel. Because they copy from the citizens. So this militant day, somebody say, oh, why you have not gone to retreat? Why you have not gone to your catacomb to put it? They say, no. The militant day celebration is a mobilization of the forces of good against the forces of evil. That are witch hunting people on a daily basis. That are downsizing people, that are removing people from their job because of their political participation. We have come to inform our brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers, our aunties and our uncles, from Zosa to Saloye, from Saloye to Kepamo, from Kepamo to Greenville, from Greenville to Sesto, from Sesto to Ganta, from Ganta to Buchanan, from Buchanan to Marshall City and Magibi, Kante Kakata, and other places around. 15 political subdivisions. This day is a commemoration of people who believe in coming together to make a change. And this change cannot come about, we cannot celebrate those who died and those who stay alive. And at this point, beginning tomorrow, will converge as the womb of the political mass-based movement of Africa, where we're going to stand together, sit together, with our leaders, the political leader, the speaker, the deputy speaker, people, prominent sons and daughters of the opposition. In fact, I just read a communication on the page of Musa Hassan Bey, the district number 7, the Macan representative, that he will be there as an opposition. We also extend our invitation to those in the opposition, including the Liberty Party who is in the opposition, but their alliance with the Liberty Party. So all we want to say to our supporters, don't be scared of what they say to you. Some of them, they are saying to you, they use 22 million to build roads, model roads. And surprisingly to us, we are in the Winning City cars are still being struck in Baton. Cars still being struck even in Uru and other places around Mosorado County and other adjacent counties. All we can say to you, Anthony Abraham Gosson, well, and to our many listeners out there, the CDC will come back to power in 2029, and we are prepared to engage the government constructively, not destructively, they had it because of a mounting pressure going from international community to other places to raise sanction against our government and the people elected. But we have come to say to you on this Militant Day celebration, we memorialize this day, we celebrate this day, we're going to achieve an achievable bringing back the people together, and understanding that yes, indeed, with the CDC, the Congress for Democratic Change, Liberia can make significant progress in moving forward. And I want to appreciate the national chairperson, the president of Anthony Augusto Jandako, the Secretary General, and all executive committee members, and all well-wishers, the Eugene Nambi, the list go on and on, the speaker, the deputy speaker, and all ranking members of the house, the both houses, that yes, indeed, this celebration will bring together all of us to make sure we remember exactly where we're going to go.
Anyway, let me just get to Abby Reset, and who's also here. And as a matter of fact, everything you just laid out here, and just like explaining to your partisans out there as to what you people intend to achieve as a result of this. And there are people who are still there with the party, and there are others who have joined in, and others could be convinced as a result of the leadership of the party. Others will say, look, we've seen better now, and others could just look at the 6 months of the Unity Party and say, look, if we had ever thought of giving up on the CDC, I think the CDC shows great signs. Though it's early, we're going to compare both as to why this. So I'm going to go out of this. People are still confused to see as to where, how do we get back to get by? So yes, we have lost some trust in them, and that's why I see 6 months is just not enough to make a decision or a determination in terms of weighing the options and evaluating and doing some comparison.
Well, thank you. In the context of governance, particularly with respect to what is unfolding currently in our political system, I believe that the issue of time cannot be centered around the conversation, because like Jean-Jacques Rousseau would say, Jean-Jacques Rousseau was one of the French philosophers and sociologists. He said clearly that the masses will sign a social contract theory between the government and the governed. When that theory is signed, it becomes an inherent responsibility on the part of those who were entrusted to govern to in return provide a social, political, economic deliverance through what we call equitable distribution of the resources of the state. So those who manage the resources of the state are obligated to provide basic social services to the well-being of the state and its people. That is a fundamental democratic responsibility by any government that comes to power. So the conversation about time should be out of the political equation, absolutely out of the political equation. The Unity Party yesterday said they have all of the best solutions to the many challenges and some of the problems that we encounter as a country and while we were serving as a government. Yesterday, the Unity Party government, the Unity Party, when she was in opposition, argued that upon the arrival to the presidency, they would have increased civil servant salaries. Today, it begs the question about how far are we in terms of increment in civil servant salaries. The Unity Party says that after every, at the middle of every month, civil servants who have received their salaries punctually on time. Today, there are many civil servants that are following, and we are inviting them to come. They will be there. About 40,000 civil servants. I'm telling you, because
the ones that are working, they try.
I'm telling you, where the situation has reached, Constant, where the situation has reached, there is no trust in the governance architecture under the Barker's administration. The people themselves are taking one step. They are moving to become authentic carriers of their own destinies and their own economic potential. Because when you have a irresponsible government, a government that lacks every policy direction to transform
the lives and condition of citizens, the people themselves can rally against their government and become to champion their destiny. So if I'm telling you, in confidence, we've been at the headquarters of the CDC. We have met several of these people, including some of those tiny rescuers. They have met us as well. They said they'll be there. They are not only repugnant, but they are disenchanted and disgusted about the manufacturing Mr. Bwaka and his cabal of political despots are now threading this country into what we've got a democratic miscarriage. So we have managed to reach out to all of these people, and we are making a case. So we ask the question: where are we now with respect to governance? Today, the Bwaka administration promised 10,000. That young people will be trained in the information technology. They are yet to tell us whether that project has begun, how many of those young people were recruited that constitute and consummate into the 10,000 political survey and mirage that they vomited 3 months ago when they were in the opposition. Now that they came here and they said they were going to fight corruption. They said they were going to ensure that accountability and transparency within the governance system of our country would have been at the premium of the national governance. What's happening today? We ask the question about asset recovery. Today, the situation of the asset recovery is in total enigma. It's a misery. It's a debacle. Complete debacle. Our people are now understanding that it was a terrible and dangerous political mistake, and it was a serious democratic accident to have elected a disaster in Mr. Bwaka and a band of thieves who have used unorthodox means to maneuver the way to the presidency. And evidently, we have said over the period of time, there's one thing to lie away to power, and there's another thing to lie while you are in power. Because in terms of lying, it is easy to come to power. But to govern, it's never lies. It's never. You are going to face the existential realities. You are going to face the existential threats, the existential realities, the actualities that constitute governance. And the people are not going to take stories. They are not going to take propaganda. If you are good at propaganda in opposition, you cannot be going to be good at propaganda when it comes to governance. So the United Party has not been able to tell the Liberian that this United Party government has come under the mantra of to rescue the Liberian people. The situation in our country is appalling. The situation in our country is desponding. The situation in our country has become a total national embarrassment. And that's the reason why today, having viewed the political circumstances now in the country, the people of Liberia have realized that it was a political accident and Bwaka is a political mistake that they don't want to repeat on it.
So having a wake up out of this, CDC was in power. Others who argue, the other way around. They say, look, CDC has been in power and for 6 years. But time like this, with the exception of the protest and the Avera protest until it was so let's agree, you are not staging protest. But everything you are saying here could amount to similarly imply that you are staging a silent protest. Because a silent protestation is the fact that you are not just showing up at these venues, but every message that you are giving is in total disagreement with how they are proceeding currently in this country. But there are specific issues that have to do with the Bring Back Money campaign and so forth. Civil servants are not receiving salaries. And under the CDC, the July 26th that we are getting together now, and why the CDC is still having these kind of challenges. They were asking people to gather at a stadium so forth to go celebrate July 26th. So if you compare those challenges that you had at the time that they capitalized upon versus what you are outlining now, where do we place both in terms of just fresh 6 months in power?
Well, the first 6 months in power, there are more challenges and problems that the Liberian people are facing now under the United Party administration.
And you don't want to call that failure, you call it challenges.
Well, whether you call it challenges,
progress, that's why you don't want to call it failure.
No.
Well, I mean, enable you to use a particular nomenclature.
Okay.
Challenges, failure, they are synonymous.
Failure is summative. That means at the end of everything,
Yeah,
you know that there's no effort again.
Challenges also
Challenges could be in progress.
synonymous to failure.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, you can check it out. Challenges synonymous to failure. If you challenge and overwhelm, like the United Party is currently, it's overwhelmed. The United Party said they were ensuring that employment opportunities for young people would have been provided. The United Party said when they come to power, they were going to ensure that there would have been stability in electricity output. The United Party said when they come to power, road connectivity across the 15 sub-political division, no car would have hitched in the mall.
In the first 100 days.
In the first 100
so
days.
That one is clear.
In the first 100 days.
Wow, so youth empowerment, there were no specific
youth
time frame
empowerment,
placed to it.
No. They quantify that in 6-month period, there would have been 10,000 young people being given opportunity to enhance their productive capacity in the technology sector.
Okay.
We have asked them, where is the program going? What's the status?
Okay.
Have anybody from the government angle given us an update about the current status of the 10,000? It's a fiasco.
Okay.
Even the issue about the road today is also a mirage. It's a mockery. And that's why we say the United Party cannot govern in lie. That's one thing to come to power by lies. It's another thing to govern in lies, because it's difficult to lead in lies, because lies cannot suffice in the day-to-day social economic realities that the people confront with. So we want to say here, in this particular regard, having seen and watched the United Party's fast deteriorating in our own promises, the Liberian people, including supporters of the United Party and all other well-meaning, patriotic and nationalistic Liberians, are now making a detour, a political U-turn, that the mistake in the presidency of Oboga would not be repeated. And the only panacea, the conduit, and the process through which we can redeem Liberia for such debacle, for such mistake, is to retreat to the barricade by moving one step back to the revolutionary center of gravity, which is the Congress for Democratic Change. And that's why after the elections, what we did as a political party, we want to say that clearly here, that the reason why you see our people are in high spirits and they're celebrating now, I tell you, go on the streets. We went all the places in the 17 districts. The people are mobilized in this country because a government has come to power under 1% does not constitute popular democratic legitimacy. Okay. So the people believe that the election was controversial, but the people settled down for peace so that we gave the opportunity to those who wanted to plunge the country into a local civil unrest and instability. So we stand saying that, but it's time for all to see through them. And what we are seeing is lack of accountability, is distrust, is corruption, and we are retreated to the barricade to inspire hope and aspiration in our people.
Okay, it's great, and for our viewers and our listeners, I'm sorry, and you will see these guys most frequently. My face is very familiar with you people, so we got to give priority to our guests, and due to the feedbacks we're getting, well, at least everything is okay now, so that you hear the message from our guests here tonight. They are of priority tonight, so let's just manage with this. John J, and you've been here. Tomorrow, you said, in fact, how did you coin this? You said you are trying to transform setbacks into comebacks, and those things were carefully coined. And what were the setbacks? What were the setbacks?
Comeback.
Yeah.
Let me say this to you. Biblically, somebody told me that king killing Abel wouldn't take king to the altar of grace. When king killed Abel, after they went for sacrifice, and when you look at the word setback, transforming setback into a great comeback, we are not angry of the electoral loss, to be honest.
You sure about that?
Oh yes, I'm telling you today.
That is unexpected feat.
No. Let me say this to you. Sometimes we let to go biblical to understand the situation. When the Israelite was in Egypt in slavery, there were a lot of issues they went through. They were washing clothes to eat. They were cooking for people to eat the balloon food. They were killing cows that died on the ground to eat them. But when God realized that this is a situation, the situation changed. In fact, when Samuel was crying to God, he said, God, the Israelites have divorced me. They said they don't want me anymore. What God doing? So they are never rejected. I mean, they rejected. And that is the reason why when you come to this symposium, look at the historical and biblical analysis, begin to understand what will transpire in few years to come. Can you imagine motorcycles that were marching 7 months ago in the campaign? Our pastor will make mistake. These are the same motorcycles today crying and say, our pastor will make mistake.
We wanted the party talking about
Joshua.
Oh, Joshua, a new part now.
Yes.
Okay.
Because this is a man. Let me say that to you. If you look at Liberia, multi-party democracy, every electoral process from 1985, nobody had won election less than 100,000 votes. Check the record.
Okay.
CDC lost an election, 17,500 votes to the Unity Party. But when CDC won in 2017, it was more than 100,000, 300,000 plus votes. Check the record. But what President Weah did at the time was say, look, to govern this country, we need to bring peace and harmony together on the table. That's how he appointed people from the ruling establishment for 12 years ago, which of course they admitted that they squander resources to the point where the current president's son was still in government. Nobody removed him and they resigned by himself. You know that?
Yeah.
American. He was still in government for over 4 years until he resigned, well funded by himself, and said, look, thank you, President Weah, for giving me an opportunity to serve. I'm going to focus on my follow campaign. And President Weah accepted his resignation letter. The president also went forward in the spirit of reconciliation and togetherness. In the forward march of Liberia, he appointed Honorable Jeremiah Nukwe, a former running mate, in the 2017 election, as fast running mate against a rival political party. He said, look, Mr. Nukwe, you may have ran against me in the election, but I have won the election. To govern this country does not require party line. I need you to come to sit with me. Let's run this country. Go to aviation, where you saw Honorable Jeremiah Nukwe presiding as Director General to that place. He didn't stop there. In fact, it came back to people like us in local places. When I went to Basel, Superintendent of Grand Basel County, I can name more than 4 commissioners that were appointed from Liberty Party and other political institutions. I work with them. I can tell you today, Honorable Bill, who was listening to the port today, he was the chair of the Unity Party when I took over as Superintendent of Grand Basel County. We didn't remove him from the port. There's a lady in the port today of Buchanan who resigned. Not that she didn't resign, but they retired.
Yeah, okay.
Madam Orida Zion. She was a deputy director for port operations. We met her there. Of course, she had reached the age of retirement. They still maintain her, and she will still have her job. In my office, there were people who didn't support CDC. They were civil servants who didn't take them for job.
Okay.
Today, in the Unity Party-led government headed by President Joseph Newman Boaka, there have been many Liberians, citizens who believe that to support a political ideology, they have been removed from job. What we are saying to you is to have a President Weah as a reconciler. Yes, indeed. Look, I was superintendent in Basel. Mananyomi Kanga, along with the current president today, was a leader of the political Liberty Party. Political leader of the Liberty Party. We stay together, we work together, and I continue to enjoy the relationship with her because we didn't see each other at party.
So all of that has changed now?
It has changed dramatically. It has changed. Do you know how many people just they saw CDC showing they removing them from job after they appointed them? So
the nation is heavily divided.
I'm saying this to you. That is why we're saying to you when President Boaka gave me an inaugural speech. You understand? On the 22nd of January, he said
incomplete inaugural speech.
Yeah, yes. Where he said Liberia will not be divided on green and blue.
Yeah.
But today, the people will take new position. Just a legal advisor to the president are taking mantle authority to remove people from job. What we are saying to you is, look, we are transforming ourselves back into a comeback.
Is it a national setback, the nation setback, or sedition setback? Which one are we discussing here?
Can you divorce off on the nation?
No, a special group of people may have a setback, but it may not affect the entire nation.
It's a national setback. Go to the port of Moria today. There are sedition who was on job, who were keen for the employer. They are civil servants.
You're still saying seditions who were on job, meaning it is seditions who are suffering this setback. It is not a national setback.
No, it is. It is not. I come in.
Associating with the CDC, they are enjoying themselves.
No, it's national. You know why it's national?
No.
I come in before you come in, Avi.
Yeah.
It's national. The very first thing, the mantra that the Unity Party came to power on, after 12 years of misrule, they said that, look, President, we are in the CDC-led government, how much national salary? We are coming back to poke you back on your 400 you are making monthly. Today, they are not done that. Okay. It's a national setback. Okay. Today, civil servants are being coerced at all levels in different ministry of agency, even Ministry of Finance. There are people in Ministry of Finance that were employed. People be that they didn't support the rescue mission. Today, they've been threatened at their jobs. Even in the county, different counties. I'm saying this to you.
The national chiefs of the traditional council.
In fact, Senator is at the edge of being removed from a job because they perceive that you didn't support the rescue mission. What we are
it's not about just wearing party shirt. It's about not supporting the rescue mission.
Oh, that's how they feel.
So if you don't support the rescue mission,
you don't have a space in our government.
You don't have a space.
You don't have a space.
You got to define it.
You have to define. In fact, even at a point where they see you wearing just a beret before going to any rally, they classify you as
forget about whether you wore whatever. It's about you visibly making your impact and presence felt for the rescue mission is what that will guarantee you a place.
That's how they feel
in government.
But look at all those they appointed. They are all associated with the rescue mission airlines. I challenge you, AB, as a journalist and a legal practitioner, right, to tell me how many persons, over 3,000 people are being appointed in government. Tell me how many opposition you see in the government besides those associated with the rescue mission airlines. I can name more than 10 individuals. When President Weah won the election in 2017, popular way of the people, he still went back to the opposition and maintained some of them. Some of them stay on their job until today. Okay. They were still betraying people. For example, go to the Minister of Transport. The current Minister of Transport, Senator. Understand? Senator. He was an associate member of the Unity Party. President Weah won the election and maintained. But he went to the same transport minister today to start hunting down sedition. You see what happening? We cannot live in a country like this.
Arvin, with all of this setback thing here, that's why I want to see, I'll stay asking this question. I would like to get your perspective on it now. We talk about setbacks into comeback. If Liberians, as a result of their decision they made in 2023, amounts to setback owing to what they are now going through, for which they want to make a comeback, though you are just referencing the seditions, but this setback you are talking about, how do you interpret it? And how do you look at it? Because we look at a national effort here driven by a political party, instead of a political party driving their own effort like the Unity Party is doing now. Whatever they fought for, whatever it is for themselves. No, not even all Unity Party partisans are even benefiting from that, but sectional group of people. Yeah, so you found that we don't want this kind of trend. It's like we want to depart away from those kind of politicking, where you make it appear like is a personal setback into comeback or national setback into comeback. How do we really,
Maybe it's a national setback.
Okay.
We are transforming national setback into a great comeback.
Okay.
So it's a national setback.
Okay.
So it's not directed and restricted or aligned only with the CDC.
Okay.
It encapsulates and encompasses the broader masses of people, all Liberians. Okay. So the CDC is not selfish, because CDC is a patriotic institution whose visions and policy has affected the broader masses of our people.
Okay.
So it is not to say a comeback in the sense of sedition coming to power. The Unity Party is a representation and an offshoot of the Chewy Party.
Okay.
You know, the Chewy Party in Liberian history had policies. All the Chewy Party policies were policies of anti-people and anti-masses. On the other hand, the CDC, which is the party of the people, the property of the indigenous people, the masses, brought a national vision under the proper agenda for prosperity and development that institutionalized and effectively
particularized governance to the manifestation of a policy across the length of this country. Those policies affected key thematic areas in the national governance architecture of our political system. Whether it's about education, whether it was about the rural sector, the agriculture, health, in all the spaces, those policies affected real change, real transformation. So, for we not allowing the CDC to have won the election or to have come to power is a national setback, because by now, at this time, we would have gone more beyond the issues of development. Take for example, we are now in the era where, for example, the free tuition and WASH policies. Today, the 12th graders, a couple of students who are at the party headquarters of the CDC today appreciating President Weah for having brought the free tuition and WASH policies that affected various schools, including the students who are. So these are policies in area, for example, health sector. See the number of hospitals that this government.
So those things have not stopped. The school fees are still being paid. So you don't amount that to setback. No. The school fees are still being paid. The wax fees are still being paid. The hospitals are still being taken care of.
No. There are many hospitals that, as I speak to you, there are hospitals in this country that are running out of drugs, without medication, because even JFK is being politicized.
So on your watch, where were they? What were the statuses of those hospitals and things there? They used to have drug then there, and you don't have, because when you don't say setback, meaning this is where we were, and we are taught that as a result of the election, we are moved from here upward, but rather we are going backward. That's why you call setback. So I want you to outline all of that to see that setback, because I'm honest, the reason I'm asking this question about national and party or personal setback is that if we are saying that indeed this is a national setback, the issue about team prices will not only affect citizens, it's affecting everybody. That's national setback.
Yes.
So the issue, those are the road.
Yes. So that's not the point I was driving at. For example, when we took over the Rest Press at the time was around.
You tackled that. That was evident.
Yeah, evident. So that was a clear policy intervention. Okay. That today the situation has changed. Okay. So it's a national setback. Okay. Today, Rest Price is fluctuating between $20 to $22 in a very struggling and selfish economy. The situation in our country, across the country, is appalling. The situation of Rest Price in our country is appalling. Okay. Even the issue of transportation is a national setback as well.
How is that? Transportation?
Transportation, the motorcyclists in our country, for example, right? Today, motorcyclists are not allowed to plow major streets. You see, every day, every morning, every evening, people now walk
because of the scarcity of bikes to take people transportation.
Yeah, and the harsh
very high now.
And the harsh economic burden have been shifted on the cyclists themselves to patronize the business of Jeremiah Kuhn, to buy the helmets. All those things are setbacks. When you push people against the wall and don't have the opportunity, sometimes they relax or they disengage. So it creates a setback whereby you inconvenience people to become pedestrians in the country, and they're struggling, they cannot access all those things. So those are setbacks. When George Weah was in power, President Weah managed to ensure that there is no political prisoner, and the issue of free speech in our country was protected. Today, the CDC, thanks to the European Union and the Liberian Council of Churches that have visited the CDC at its national party headquarters, that the alarming concern of disrespect and arrogance, the rudeness, and the reckless behavior of one Eugene Facon at the LBS denied the CDC. But we were in power when we were.
You said the EU and the Council of Churches, they what?
Yeah, the EU, some delegation of the EU and the Liberian Council of Churches met the CDC leadership day before yesterday at the headquarters of the CDC. Okay. And they were concerned about the wave in which our democracy is treading, particularly with the emergence of one media mafia in the name of Fagon. The guy has abrogated the CDC for airing a program that's supposed to be
and that you had issues.
That is a state radio. We never censor free speech in this country because the Constitution provides that freedom of speech is
that's national setback to you.
That's a national
because
setback.
That was just denying of CDC.
Seditious are Liberians as well. This is what brings democracy. This is what nurtures democracy. When people have the will to
we don't want to see a situation where people say, oh, they want to use Unity Party as a vehicle to achieve the sufferings that all of them have gone through. That's what people support.
No,
when people do that all of the time.
So
So we don't want that situation where the CDC will only be used as a vehicle. One of the see to it that when the citizens are thinking themselves to be people who will rescue themselves, they set back, they come back, it's only about them. You know, the terminology now, you know, the party has taught us a lot of lessons. We don't want that come back, we come back for few.
So
the same way rescue is for few, we don't want that.
What I want you to get here is that even when we want to hold all the nomenclature seditions, don't forget, before becoming sedition, they are also Liberians.
Okay.
So constitutionally, they enjoy that franchise under the law, under the constitution of our country. So the protection has to be laid out, it has to be clearly put into perspective, right? So even when it comes to the issues about the police, for example, where under the administration of the ex-elected President George Manawia, the law enforcement agencies, the state security apparatus was never politicized. It was not meant for a particular political institution.
Okay.
There was professional standard of policing in our country with respect to the issues about citizen policing or protecting the rights and privileges in the context of the rule of law, that certain people will be given the rights just of their political alignment.
So that's set back too.
That's set back. Look what happened in Kinjaw. I mean, a case in point is what happened in Kinjaw. A case in point is what happened at the University of Bureau campus when students were beaten and some were in prison. A case in point is what happened to even members of the EPS who were duly vetted and were placed in the security apparatus, were arbitrarily removed, which is causing serious security threats and poses danger on the fragile.
All right, so let's hear from John J.
These are all setbacks.
The wake of all of this. You know, I think for sure we are certainly getting there. These are challenging times. Yeah. So let me hear from you. Yeah.
There are many setbacks that brought to where we are today.
Yeah.
The image of Liberia being built by former President George Weah today is a setback. Many projects that were ongoing by President Weah leadership, they've been turned back on them. Let me say this to you. People were campaigning, oh, CDC bring Kush. I challenge you as a reputable journalist or an investigator and an attorney at law who understand the rule of law. For me, I'm a criminal justice student. I believe in fast and promise fast.
Yeah.
I challenge you to tell me, say, in a 6-year rule of President Weah, there were more than 6 deaths of Kush. In 6 months' time, we have counted over 100 of our citizens dying from zombie. It's a setback.
Yes, they are dying. People die. In Nima County, people are
born. Even in Basso, just today, a citizen of Riverside died from zombie today. In Basso. White people are propaganding, oh, John, we are bringing Kush. Oh, today, Zoom, in fact, the drug have metamorphosed into a regular business with people within the LDA and the AFL. Just, I don't know whether it's a wish hunt or not. I don't want to speak to that. But 3 AFL personnel, a lieutenant, a private, 3 of them were dismissed today from the AFL because of drugs. Did you see that in Georgia region? This is a setback. People need to understand these things. I'm saying this to you. Motorcyclists who paying their taxes, just taxes. Do you think look, the very first thing here is we're in a country of equal equality. Whether you are a minister, you are a superintendent, or you are a pro tem, or you are a speaker, at least a little bit might be able to earn it ends me. To look at the process of local communities on the market. You understand? Today, let me just review this. There are being a plan right now in the legislature that the speaker and the pro tem, they want to remove them because they're not dealing with the wing and capacity of the presidency.
The speaker and the pro tem. Adding the pro tem to it?
I said, in fact,
I'm
saying this to you because, let me say this to you. In fact, you read a newspaper article day for yesterday that there's a power struggle within the Senate between the speaker, the pro tem and the vice president. The vice president is saying his function are being usurped by the pro tem. These are the calculated attempt to make sure that the first branch of government deals with the whim and caprices of the executive.
What kind of dance they want from the Senate? The Senate won't buy not only dance, but they lie down.
Let me say this to you. The reason I'm saying this, I'm from Basso. A Basso made a mistake yesterday, right? By rejecting a pro tem. I'm from the opposition. My pro tem will be protected. If Joseph Baga want to remove her wrongfully, I will stand with her. because we need to have these people independently operated, not by the wing and capacity of
And you think the president have been proceeding right?
Let me say this to you. She may have or paid for. I'm seeking from my pastor.
Okay, yeah, go on, go on. Yeah, go on.
And you Lord protect Bongale will take it. What will come to me? If we far from arguing, I'm saying to you, if she may have an issue, we're going to set to her have a conversation. We'll say, look, proceed this way. But the fact that you want to remove them clandestinely, you're paying people in the House of Representatives, in the House of Senate, to remove people that were legitimately elected by the PS. We believe that. Let me say this as setback.
But you can protect people who themselves sat right before their own eyes. People are, though I must give us some credit that they have said among themselves that no tenured position holder, who whether suspended or not, they're not going to confirm anybody in those positions. And I want to say that's one thing they hold for sure. But that needed to go beyond that.
Of course.
But here we are, and in this country, and we're going to such a crucial process. And I must say the CDC for yours, good enough that you are not going to protest, but rather you are going to a political rally.
No, listen. AB, the CDC as a political party has not derived for a protest or not. If you listen to President George, when he came back to the country after a 2-month vacation, he questioned the government of the Republic of Liberia headed by President Joseph Yumambaka, that the rest of the people that were protected on our 6-year rules, the rest of protests should be protected. At the time the situation in Jaw occurred, we are not authorized a protest. But if the rest of the people are being violated consistently, with no respect to the rule of law, I think in our mind, the CDC will take a decisive position on this issue. So CDC has never said they will not protest.
Protest is part of the decisive positions you're talking about.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yeah, let's go on.
Right now, as I speak to you, there's protest. There's protest.
Where's the protest?
There's economic protest.
And who's protesting?
Motorcyclists are protesting because they are disenchanted. They are dissatisfied over the way the United Party government is harassing them simply because the guys want to amass profits at the detriment of these struggling motorcyclists who are looking for earth meat to survive in the country. They are protesting. The rest price in this country is
but people say all of the CDC.
No. There have been no evidence that motorcyclists were lawless in this country. I challenge you, Eddie. Nobody. Absolutely no evidence. The CDC government institutionalized policies that regulated and provided framework direction for motorcyclists to plow the street freely. That's no evidence. Because we have a reckless government that is so apprehensive that everything is about the government to make profit. Even in the helmet, they gotta make profit. So it is a calculated attempt to shed the burden on the motorcyclists in a mass way for them.
So 1 minute. Yeah. Can you imagine the vice president of the Republic of Liberia?
Is the chief importer.
Is the importer
of
bags and helmet.
Of motor bags and helmet in the country.
I challenge him to disprove this.
We have the
evidence.
I'm saying to you, I'm saying to you, AB, I said, in fact, the chief importer of motor bags in this country and the helmets.
Do you know?
It's him.
Do you know?
I know how many get, even when they were going to election, I know how many get each lawmaker to even pay back to him. Someone else pay back to him. I know about that.
In fact, there was something that came up, especially in the labor sector, while you are talking about all of that. There was a front page Africa publication that came up, and I would like for you to just speak to that, talking about national setback, wherein the current labor minister, they say he has a law firm, and that law firm is contracted by MPA that dismissing people. And the labor minister who is supposed to, I'm not yet understanding some things. And when you keep talking about national setback, these things come to mind. And these kind of publications are coming up. They tend to know, where do we run? How are we running?
We are in a mess. We are in a very hot mess.
Wow.
Everybody. You know what the guys are doing that for? Because they believe that they're not coming back 2029. Have you noticed that Amos Square is building condominiums and
we haven't seen pictures of those. I saw a picture of him standing in a shopping mall, and of course,
we have published. Yes, we have published the evidence. We have provided pieces of evidence that the guys are stealing. The guys are massively looting. So looters. Those guys were
building. But you don't taught these guys how to build. And you started building. People like y'all, when you started to organize yourself, the guys felt that
Every thought that we illegally built what we have built. That's why you brought the asset recovery team. So what is it now? You should prove us wrong. Provide the evidence. So building in a country where honest resources does not constitute city, it doesn't amount to city. If it is so, then the asset recovery team will be able to provide freedom facility. Today it is dead. It's a complete disaster in the country. So I'm telling you that there are many setbacks that the Unity Party, and that's why, like I said to you, that the guys, what they are on now, the mission is to just stay quick. Because 2020 now, the CDC is coming back to power. So what the guys are on, that's a mission. So look at what happened.
6 years too long, man. Why you got stay quick? 6 years too long.
That's what we were saying yesterday. 2017 won't keep the power. We were also saying yes. I mean, it's 12 years. It's 12 years. So they were happy. So 6 years is not
justifiably. You think that you are removed from power because it's possible you may have been undeservedly, kicked out of power. I mean, there were a lot of things that people talk about peace and this, that, here, and there. Do you think your departure was the will of the Liberian people?
Well, it was not only the will of the Liberian people, but was to save the state from going back to the dark days.
Oh, okay.
And the CDC had to make that sacrifice. If no other person had to make the sacrifice, the CDC, as a responsible, non-violent institution, has to make the sacrifice. But in terms,
that sacrifice is leading the country is leading the country to calamity. So that's why you study your options.
In terms of this,
there are times, listen, there are times that our parents, sometimes they will hijack some things that will call for our own rights. Sometimes they will violate our rights in our own interest. And sometimes they tend to put you harder in your own interest. And those things are possible. Those things are able to happen at any given point in time. Sometimes people hold on.
If you wouldn't see that way, let me say this to you.
You have plunged their country into serious. If you are crying now, then you are the reason.
It was
you are the reason why we are not
I'm
if you are challenging the election result, if you name of so forth, and then you won and said, "Look, I will let it be."
Yes,
the
reason.
Understand.
Yes, the reason.
Yeah.
It is not that we never had the capacity or we not have the sophistication. In fact, in the first round of the elections, the evidence clear that the CDC won the elections. We know what happened. We saw the manipulation. There are some errors in Nima County. We know how ballot boxes
were stuffed.
The standard bearer of our party, the political leader of our party, saw these things with evidence beyond all reasonable doubt. But Ebi, there is one reason why we did not allow our country, fragile democracy, to slide into what we experienced in the 40 years of devastating civil unrest.
Okay.
What we decided to do is, if the people of Liberia feel that of all what we've done in terms of provision, in terms of providing the basic social and economic services to the people was not sufficient enough, let's give these people a chance and let's see how they can come and provide proper governance. Today, now the CDC has been vindicated. The CDC is exonerated. Even you being a microphone, you are exonerated. That today you can now say on Freedom FM that yesterday we warned the Liberian people about the calamity. Look at what happened today. You go to Kinjo and shoot people. The state has become a military state. It's a police state. People are no longer being protected for their rights. Right before Jacob Town, you saw what happened. Only because the people were demanding ownership of their land and their properties. The police have to go there and shoot live bullets on the people. The people are coming in defense of their safety and happiness. Even at Academy Junction, where you saw the police moving into the people's houses in the morning, these things did not happen under the real administration. How did you get here? And you can't look at the level of appointment. Bunch of incompetent people. See how the people will appoint.
During those days, they said you guys were incompetent when they were appointing
the most incompetent government in the history of Liberia is this government. Check the assistant ministers and deputy ministers. In fact, there are some people who they appointed. For example, Gigi Fagon, the man has the highest AA degree in the world.
But you appointed the man. You will be the one to that.
I'm telling you,
but
you did see him.
Say this to you. If fighting for change, my wrong should not be your wrong.
Okay.
If you go in law enforcement, in criminal justice, if you even looking at criminal statistics, it tells you that a man commit a crime here is a crime. If you come back to the same place and commit that same crime, it's a same crime. Now, you campaign on a mantra that Janje Bagba was incompetent.
But Jaji Bagwe ran a battle for over 6 years. There was no destabilization of the county caucus and other development projects. Now, somebody argued that, oh, Jaji Bagwe got a horse in Marshall. I work for 1,600 every month after tax. Right? I had a privileged position. Unless some of those people who worked 12 years
So
ago,
how much you use the predecessor used to get
they
prior
used to get
to
3,500 after tax.
as superintendent?
Yes, and get gas. Let me repeat myself. Every superintendent from 2006 to 2017 used to receive 3,500, a pay equal to the minister pay, with gasoline and car assigned to them. I did not have a car until 2021. I bought my own fuel for my house. The superintendent come and live in. I bought my own fuel for my office. If there is no 10% of PMC or operation fund, I'm saying this so you open it here. I'm saying this so you, in fact, the county did not allot the money to me until 2022 last county sitting. Allot 10,000 out of my office for operational fund. Every year I went in Basel for it was for my salary and other operations. I'm saying this.
So you manage all of these
because we want to serve our country. These people are looting the country, even on the Joseph Baga Bar president. I'm saying it to you, yeah. I come in. I send it to you openly. A certain minister at the time was making 2,500. But I mean, was that key? After harmonization, you think harmonization only affected only civil servant? It affected people that were providing services to the country. Even people like us were affected in harmonization. But in government.
Let me just buttress it. You heard the normal slogan, oh yeah, you know, some jovial Minnesota, they are coming to the community. Why is it you have some of these propaganda against us? Why? Because our political leader has chosen the ultimate sacrifice to put service delivery as opposed to individualizing his
So they slash all your money.
Slash
you
all.
don't have anything to go in the community.
No gasoline, no scratch car. We were never, no, personally, no one gave up vehicles. We were living in the kind of harsh conditions.
And still serving our country.
And still serving our people. Today, the situation now, the reality has set in with the United Party. The guys thought that, it was business as usual, that the guys happening. All in the prison, the guys are regretting, the guys are frustrated because they thought, no, the premium, the standard President Weah has brought to this country in terms of governance. It has embarrassed them, it has entrapped them. President Weah has taught a complete lesson to this generation. The people of Liberia, the public service would no longer be on the basis of empty promises, but rather effectuating change.
All right, so we got the CDC day beginning tomorrow. Others had said that those people the potent ones who have provided vehicle for others, but what's the whole plan, the organization, especially the lawmakers and so forth from their respective districts, maybe they could rally their people to get there. And these are some of the things that we heard about quickly. Then we'll get to the lines, interact with a few of our callers, then we close.
Yeah, so
go ahead.
The organization tomorrow. Yes, kicking off tomorrow.
Yeah. So the militant month is being celebrated and observed globally. As I speak to you, the CDC USA, the CDC Europe, Asia, East Africa, West Africa, North Africa are already mobilized and they are about to go into their celebration as of tomorrow.
Okay.
And the reason why the military month has been put aside is to recognize the intellectual and political moral services that gallant men and women has been able to deploy in defense of the manifesto and the belief system that the CDC has introduced since its inception in the public politics of our country history. So the military month is a complete month of revolutionaries and fighting forces, members of the honor ground affairs. You'll be shocked. There are people who are elderly people who are coming to that process. Okay. There are people who are young people, there are women, everybody. It's not restricted because it is a complete wake-up call to the CDC. That's why when we saw in the jingle, when you heard in the jingle say to reconsolidate. We are reconsolidating because from every aspect, hence I've been pointed to the CDC that she has a potential come back to 2029. And to come back 2029, it begins with organization. To come back 2029, it begins with mobilization. to come back 2029 it begins with reconfiguration and re-energizing the base and the sati, our supporters across the land and breadth of this country. And that's what we are doing. And our people are very happy.
All right.
And they are making sure
All right.
that they are represented. And that it will be spectacular tomorrow because partisans as well as the entire CG Legislative Caucus will be there. And there'll be speeches and there'll be programs and sporting activities there to climax the day on Sunday.
Wow. So that's great. And y'all got to warn your partisans who are already employed because we want us to some verbal warnings have been passed around from ministry.
So we are also want the government. We want, maybe we have already set a caveat in one of our press conferences. As I speak to you, we have set a caveat. We have signaled a complete straight caveat. We have information from National Port Authority and other ministries, for example, the Health Ministry and the FPRC. This time around, immediately after whatsoever about our militant month program, going forward, the CDC is now going to entertain any attempt to remove arbitrarily. And that's why, as I speak to you, we're having meetings with these civil servants who have been threatened already. Those people who have been illegally being attempted to be removed from their positions. We have a meeting with them. We can assure you that these ministers, directors will be greeted with massive protests in this country. We're going to show you that. The reason why the party was not coming out, the party was looking at the internal organizational programs framework to ensure that the party considers this kind of very strong and powerful.
So going forward,
going forward, any ministry or agency that makes an attempt on partisans or sympathizers of the CDC,
or even
any Liberian for that matter, where you are sedition now, the party will come in defense and will come in defense, in first second defense that will protect the right to opportunity in this country. So moving forward, after the program, there will be a different CDC. The CDC will wear her boots in the communities, administrators. I speak to you, our intelligence bureau are all over now giving us data information on the name of ministers, on the name of directors that are involved. So it is not about, oh, why not protesting? No, you can't just protest. After election, you reconsolidate, you reorganize, then you come back and take a unanimous approach on a serious battle. So
your partisans are listening. They take this as a commitment.
I'm telling you, we put the cases. We are asking you. We are asking partisans. We are asking partisans that any report as such, any attempt on you, all you need to do is to take our hard lands. We have seen our numbers all across the place. We having meetings. Even people who are not citizens, professionals as well.
That will even lead to you chasing some of these ministers and directors in their homes. And
very soon, you'll see ministers running away from their offices. Very soon.
From their offices, in their homes. Go for them in the communities. Chase them out, beat them, and whatever it is.
What happened in Kenya is about to take place in Abiro. The situation in Kenya. Right now, as I speak to you, the opposition leaders are taking giant steps in ensuring that the rights of the people are protected. So we're not going to play the cat and rat play here. What we're waiting for is our organization, was our militant month, because the militant month will define, will put the struggle into perspective. The militant month is going to put the people into pari passu. It's going to lead the progressive forces, because the militant month is going to be that month.
I think this whole thing is going to be about protecting the people who are suffering because
of course.
Because the people are suffering.
We're going to come in defense of
just by saying I'm a sedition, people want to go against me. They hurting me and whatever.
So doing the campaign, right? That supported the party that they got a job. You can see that. There was a responsible and united government. You have your right to freedom of association, no matter the situation is. People like us are even coming back to go to private.
But why can't you depend on the law to help?
The
law.
Where's the law? Where's the law? There's no law in the country. Do you know that?
A Supreme Court told the president, say,
where's the law?
Not remove any position, he doesn't respect law.
When the law cannot defend the people defend themselves against the law. I repeat, if the law cannot defend the people will defend themselves against the very law. Mr. Baga single-handedly challenged in the face of the Supreme Court, the highest arbiter of justice. Supreme Court ruling challenged the Supreme Court single-handedly. Not only that, he went as far as going to sustaining positions in the country. In terms of law, no, some of our
But now
people
you're asking,
we are preparing our mattresses in a very present conference as to you. We are making we are sending this caveat. We will challenge the police. We will challenge draconian policies to go after our people moving forward. We are just waiting for this program to end. So we're not talking here for someone to say, oh, whether CDC will protest. No, CDC is not a knee-jerk party. The CDC is powerful that coming back 2029, and anything that CDC will use as a vehicle to defend her people, the CDC will use it. And that's what we say the militant month is a month of resistance. The militant month is a month of several disobedience. The militant month is a month where people must be prepared for mental flight to take a political safari against those who have come to bat us down their rights and circumvent the laws in the interest of their parochial political agenda.
Wow. All right, so let's get to the line later with you. Just pick few calls and so forth. And my boss and woman says he found they're gonna he like to So all right, so let me just pick few calls, entertain few calls. So let's get to the lines into our callers on our regular numbers that you are aware of already. 0776 104 086 500 104 are the numbers to call. So let me get to this caller. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello?
Yeah, hello, how are you doing? Please, let me hear from you quickly. I don't have much time today. Hello?
I don't have anything to say. I congratulate my physicians over there. But the only thing I want to say, I want to be on the Scrabble board.
On the Scrabble board. Okay, no problem.
I want to play the Scrabble.
All right, you want to play the Scrabble. Thank you so much. Our mothers and their husbands have been taking off jobs. Their children are taking off jobs. A lot of things are happening in the country, and a lot more is happening. I want to say thanks to all of you for your support over the period. That is about our country, and peace in the end should be all to reign. That's all we can challenge you to do. Yeah, in the end, we pray for peace, and peace should be the order of the day, and which is very much important for all of us. So let's get to the line. Talk to this caller. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, my name is Mark. I call from Brazil.
Yeah, go ahead quickly. No time.
Yeah, I just want to say our studio girl there for enlightening the man in the sedition. I thought the sedition has died. I thought the party has died, but I'm waking up again. I will be with you people on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you, and it starts on tomorrow. So let me get on to the next caller quickly as we go on. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello?
Yeah, hello, how are you doing? Please go on quickly. Let's listen.
Yeah, I just thank you.
Villages, I don't want to what to call. Yeah, those of you can make it. You just come. Just a little rally or something. Hello, how you doing? Yeah, how you doing, Chief? Go on.
I want to say,
Yeah, William.
I want to say hi to having we said or you see some more maybe CDC will don't send 2005 if we will CDC. Tomorrow we know that job of believing President we are ability to see we will believe in. So tomorrow will be what the CDC, you know, CDC the ground to party CDC, they got good. The poor one night is the 8 to 4, they come in 2029, then the vote for President we are. I mean, we said you people to do something too. Well, for me, I want to take change. You put to remember this for somebody for themselves, too, that is struggle for the CDC.
All right, thank you so much. Let me get on to the next caller. How are you doing? We're moving forward now. Backward network. And how are you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, brother? How you coming on?
I'm doing fine. Please go on quickly.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to say thank you to the studio girl. I'm Jefferson Quill calling from Factory Factory.
Okay.
I want to say thank you for the topic on our discussion. You know, I follow the topic up to now. I'm still following you people. You know, really, we the party of the country without really understanding how the government are proceeding. Seriously. You know, sometimes when you tell it for today, your friend not telling you shooting about them. Yeah. But the way the president carrying the country,
so then tomorrow is the day to come and listen and know exactly which way to go. Thank you. Complaining days are getting over. You can keep complaining, especially when you can act. Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, doing fine.
And let me extend my greeting to our leaders in you.
All right.
Washington Swoop, Nakon from Disney. Let me appreciate our leader, Mr. Witter and Daniel Akpe. And the major days on tomorrow, we are happy. At least our party is not taking place. We are recalibrating. We are happy that we'll be going to our party headquarters tomorrow. Because the election I was so long. Because it was so surprising. How can you conduct election and first round somebody get 800,000, the second round you get 800,000 men go to 300 and some more thousand. So what's wrong with the 800,000 people are there for our point? But we don't care. Now the power is in their hand and they are misleading. They are misleading us with poor propaganda, bringing over bosses. So as we'll be going tomorrow, while our leaders there, after the program, will be in full readiness. In full readiness. So tell them they rescue, they say they can rescue. They need to rescue this country.
All right, thank you so much. Let me get to Wisa. Motorcyclist there in the Dupo Road Belt. Wisa, how's up? How's everything with you? Yeah, please go on quickly. No time. Yeah, Wisa Gaga. Let's hear from you quickly.
Small. We stand with the party from 2005, and also now we stay with the party. But my question is tomorrow I'm to go on the party. What I'm gonna
try it. Let's see. How Morobana will pass to start the party. The police will get in fact a double. Hello, how you doing? Hello. Yeah, fine. How you doing? Please go on.
Yeah, this is Carl calling from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, let's hear from you, please.
Yeah, I just want to thank the studio guests this evening, Papa and Abin. CDC have been quiet for 6 months, and 6 months was a lot more of time to have caused most damage than what we see. Today, we see where we are all headed. Just listen to your sister program today to know that even at the very port of Monrovia, $25,000 was being misdirected and all other funds leading.
They just sharing money with each other. The other man gave contract to a friend. Other man gave contract to a friend. They just giving contract to each other.
Those 6 months of silence have caused too much damage, and there will be a lot to repair after the program leading from tomorrow to Friday. But the good thing I want to say is that politics has nothing like friendship. Politics is interest, and the interests of the Liberian people are paramount in these crucial time when we see our country and in these directions.
All right, thank you so much, brother. We understood that line. Hello, how you doing? This one, hello. Yeah, 1 p.m. Let's listen to you.
Yeah, I did. Thank you very much, Mr. Will. To my friend, Mr. Wise Janji. You know, let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something. I'm a Citizen and born Citizen and blue Citizen living in California. Look, let me tell you something. When you say, look, when you say your opposition, not to say that you're going to destroy, but you approach on the professional business. Let me tell you, approach, engage the government, tell them the run that they are doing. You know, I enjoy that you sat down for the past 6 months and read the movement of the people. You already know whether they can go, whether they can pass the test or they can't pass the test when you give them test. You know? But in 3 days, you guys should be careful because number one, there are different people that will join CDC. Different men from different people. You need the party who want to infuse people in CDC.
But when they come down to their business, the team will take them from there. That's another issue. Hello, how you doing? Don't do what I want to say. Hello, who are you doing? Yeah, hello, how you doing?
I'm asking you.
Yeah, I'm asking you. Let me hear from you quickly. I'm about to close now on you. Yeah.
Let me say hi to we say my brother,
yeah.
And this is the last time to see you over there. Yeah. Let me say thank you for coming, you and my brother and my son. No, if you will be there tomorrow. We are militant, but we don't care anybody in the country, but we are militant, they get for Europa. While the military was defending our party image.
I like that.
We were going from place to place, defending our party image. That was kill. But then they came for Ilopa, and you saw it live on video. You saw it live. So we are military, not on kill.
It's about protecting those people whom they are taking off jobs and taking food from their table. You need to protect them. Because it could be you tomorrow.
I blew my children will be there tomorrow, but I'm asking my Lord paper. You know what I'm saying? If I'm working for us, we're back in. Although they're not paying yet, but he tried that.
All right, thank you. And let me go to have a quickly. Sembra, let's hear from you quickly. Let's hear from you fast. No time.
How are you?
Yeah, go ahead quickly. No time, please.
I'm not calling from Harvard this evening.
Yeah, let me hear from you.
Because with that, Janji, I'll be there tomorrow. So I'll be there tomorrow. And we're standing by the still going to disturb us tomorrow. We're standing strong for them. It's nothing to us. We hear the chair, but we're not stupid. It is but we're coming for them.
All right. Thank you. And you know, as part of everything you've said, the most important part is that there are people who are suffering only because they are affiliated with you. So let's agree you left power today. What can you do to protect them while you are waiting to come back to power? I think that's what this whole thing should be about. That's why you just stated here. So let's just close up. And I starting with you for Arvin and Janja take us home quickly. Just in little 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. So let me appreciate all of the callers for their input. Some of the officers have reached out to us and they're asking for whether we need protection. No, let me say this to you, to the officers over there. You said you need protection. I've been told that 5 months now you haven't received your salaries, and we are advocating for your salary as well. Some of you guys, we are inviting you to the rally as well. All the officers that are meeting us in our embassies and having conversation. And so we don't want security because the security capacity does that is very small. So you protect the thousands of human beings that will come outside tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We will be protecting the security tomorrow because we want to say clearly that this new CDC is advancing progressive ideas moving forward, recalibrating and reconsolidating to have a powerful comeback 2029. Thank you so much for the time.
Thanks, Arvin Wilson. Janje back.
Well, thank you so much for the invite, and we want to assure our partisans that tomorrow is the beginning of the D-Day.
Also draws, but of course, Video Dible is coming up tonight as well to continue with that. Thanks so much for being there. 2 hours for